Hello and welcome to Dance Books. Today we're going to be learning the skill of a full cartwheel. We're going to be looking at two different variations of a cartwheel. We're going to learn our sideways cartwheel and how to teach a front to back cartwheel. Okay, so first of all we're going to start with our sideways cartwheel. So for this one you are going to start supporting your children. This is just to make sure that they've got enough strength in their arms to carry their weight over and you don't want to see any buckling from the elbows. So still like the starfish cartwheel, we're going to start in a big star shape. That's it, well done. Okay, for this one, what you want to do is to make sure that you've already asked your student which hand they predominantly like to use. So for Eve, it's her left side, so I'm going to start with her left hand. So I know that she's strongest on her left, okay? So from here, what you want to do first of all is your hand closest to the hip, you're going to put here, okay? So stand up for me, Eve. Good girl, well done. So you want to make sure that you're making like an L shape with your hands. So as if you're lifting it up, you're placing the L facing forward, and then that is then going to go into the hip here. Remember your fingers are facing forwards. Again, your hand comes up and we tilt in here. Okay, same in our starfish. Then your other hand is then going to reach as they do their rotation to grab to the other hip. That's it, like that. Thank you, Eve. And then standing back up. Now we're going to do a rotation and I'm going to show where both hands are placed, okay? So we're going to do our cartwheel now, our sideways cartwheel. Big kick over and up. Well done. Do that again for me, Eve. Remember our finish, try and start in our starfish and end in our starfish. As your dancer goes over, you come in and you push them over. So you don't want to come in and stop their flow, you want them to actually start the rotation and then come into the movement. If you come in before they've moved, sometimes they don't have enough kick to get themselves over and it leaves you then using your muscles to then push them over, and you don't want to be doing that for 30 children per class. Okay, so do it one more time for me, Eve. So cartwheel for me straight away. As you can see, she starts the rotation and then you come in. Well done, superstar. So once they can do that by themselves, so now I'm not going to support Eve, and she's going to show you a sideways cartwheel all by herself. So you know that they're strong enough in their arms. And the second thing you want to be looking out for is stretching those knees and pointing those toes. You don't want to have a dancer or a gymnast going around with bent knees and bent feet. If they can do the rotation, then you don't push any further until they've got the correct core skills. Stretching those legs, pointing those toes, arms nice and strong, chest open. Because if you move on to the next skill, then they might not do that correctly. Okay, off we go for a sideways cartwheel. Well done. Remember, try and end with our starfish hands as well, Eve. So let's do that again. So we start as we finish. Nice big rotation and finish. Good, well done. Now, once you've done that, then you know you don't have to support your students. So then you go on to something called a front to back cartwheel. So what it means is you're going to start facing forwards. So you're now going to take your hips to the side rather than keeping them square to the front. So all you're doing is you're doing a rotation with the hips. So what I like to do is I like to get the children to put their hands on their hips. And we have our little beams, our laser beams. And then you're just changing the direction that you're travelling. So you start with your hands up rather than out. What you want to make sure is they're nice and strong and close to their ears. You don't want their arms here, they need to be glued right by their heads. That's it. So then as they do their rotation over, they're then going to open their hips out to the side for their actual cartwheel. And then they're going to close off those hips for the front to back cartwheel. So it's just adding an adaptation to make them use their hips a little bit more for the transition. Off we go, demonstrate a front to back cartwheel, please. That's it, try and get that back foot round slightly a little bit more, so let's do it again. Well done. So we start facing forwards and we end facing the back. Well done. So those are two of the cartwheels that you can start to do with your students to get them independently cartwheeling.